Yeah. So welcome to all the devotees to our regular Bhakti Shastri class. So we will start our class by reciting the Mangalacharan prayers in order to invoke the auspiciousness, getting the mercy from the Guru and ultimately leading to Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salake Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadanyam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Tam Tam Sadiva Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasmitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhatam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabhandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Pancha Kalpataru Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panglam Pede Girim Yat Kripatam Ham Vande Sri Gurun Nam Hare Krishna. So in the previous class we have discussed how Krishna compares the worshippers and the non-worshippers, and also he touched the point of demigod worship and the impersonalism. So now Krishna will glorify direct worship unto him. Yeah. Direct worship means, of course, we have to worship him through the Guru Parampara system, but direct worship here indicating that you don't need to worship demigods, you don't need to worship any other personalities. Yeah. So the glories of directly worshipping Krishna. So this is the last part of our discussion in chapter 9, yeah, from text 29 to 34. Krishna explains his relationship with his devotees in contrast to his relationship with others. How he becomes a friend to his devotee and protects him despite accidental fall down. He gives shelter to anyone regardless of birth and assures everyone of attaining the supreme destination. And he concludes by giving the most confidential knowledge of how to engage in his devotional service. Verse 34 is essential and is repeated in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18.65. Yeah, so the first two lines of the text number 34 is repeated in text number 65 of chapter 18. So text number 29. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dvesho sina priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktam mayiteshu chapya. So Krishna here he mentioned that he is equal to all living entities, but ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya, his devotees are special. Here Krishna mentioned name dvesha, he doesn't envy anyone, sti na priyaha, and nobody is dear to him. That means he's equally disposed toward all living entities. Yeah, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I'm also a friend to him. Yeah. So we may ask that, well, if Krishna says he is equal to everyone, so why he mentions here, Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayatite suchavya. He gives a special privilege to those who worship him. Is that kind of partiality? We see Srila Prabhupada's book. Yeah. So the point of this verse is that Krishna is equal to all, but specially inclined to his devotees. Yeah. Prabhupada in his purport mentioned, one may question here that if Krishna is equal to everyone and no one is his special friend, then why does he take a special interest in the devotees who are always engaged in his transcendental service? So it seems like he's partial, being partial here, like how we deal normally in the material platform to all people, like those who are favorable for my material happiness, if that person gives me happiness, so he's my friend. If he doesn't give me happiness, he's my enemy. And then the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's how the material life works. Yeah. If that person doesn't give me happiness, he's my enemy. If that person give me happiness, he's my friend. And the enemy of my enemy is my friend, because with that person I can make kind of alliance to attack the person. Yeah. So this is uh, Krishna seems to be partial toward his devotees. Yeah? And Prabhupada continued, the Lord claims that every living entity, in whatever form, is his son. And so he provides everyone with a generous supply of necessities of life. He's just like a cloud which pours rain all over, regardless of whether it falls on rock or land or water. Any man in this material world may be very charitably disposed, yet he has a special interest in his own children. So regarding this question about partiality, this is not a partiality. This is natural, yeah. But this is not discrimination. It is natural. So first of all, we are all Krishna's children. Yeah? How he is equal to all living entities, it is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada here, by supplying all the necessities of all living entities. Even a criminal in the jail, still they are being fed in the jail. Yeah. So that is our position. Although sometimes the living entities are rebellion in nature, still Krishna provides the needs of that living entities. Yeah. Nityo nityanas chetanam chetananam eko bahunam yo vidadati kama. So vidadati kama. So he fulfills all the needs. Yeah. All the needs of all living entities. Prabhupada gives a very beautiful analogy, just like rain cloud, pours water. We think that, oh, ocean doesn't need water anymore because it is filled with water. Yeah, the ocean is, filled with water. But when rains come, so it's just pouring, whether it's on rock, on land, or on ocean. That's how Krishna is equally disposed toward all living entities. But just like parents, person may have like more than uh, one child. Yeah, most of us have more than one child, and toward that child, which is obedient in nature, so it is a natural inclination for the parents to pay special attention. But still, a parent is responsible to maintain the life of another child, although he is rebellion in nature. So that's how we see here the intricacy of Krishna's dealing with all living entities. He's equal, yes, in terms of fulfilling all their needs. Yeah? Even dog in the street, what kind of a jiva is that, dog in the street? Must be very, very rebellious in nature. Therefore, he gets the body of a dog. But even then, when the jiva takes the form of a dog and lives on the street, still Krishna is taking care of that dog by providing what he needs to continue his life. But for a devotee, yes, ye bhajanti tumam bhakya. And very special Krishna mentioned here, bhajati mam bhakya. Naturally, when we talk about bhaktya, a devotee, yeah, she will worship Krishna. But Krishna mentioned here, she will worship me in devotion. That is devotee. That is devotee. Not just officially worshiping Krishna, but worshiping Krishna with devotion. Because there are so many motivation of going to temple to see the deities and perform some puja. Yeah. Some people just go to temple just as formality. So people will see me as a religious person. But there's no real feeling while performing the puja. Yeah. But this is the attitude of a devotee. He goes to the temple, she goes to the temple, yeah, offer obeisances, perform some service. Bhajati, the word bhaj means to serve. Yeah. Bhajati, to serve the Lord in devotion. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada give the English meaning of bhakti is devotional service. It's not just it is not just the service itself, not what we are doing, but how we do also, with devotion, with feeling. You know, that's matter. That's why Srila Prabhupada in the what is that? In the preface of Upadesmrita mentioned that the advancement of the practitioner of Krishna consciousness depend on their attitude. Yeah, depend on their attitude. So with what attitude we go to temple, with what attitude we perform devotional service. Otherwise, it's just simply mechanical. Yeah, it's just gymnastic. You know, everybody can bow down in the temple, but the crucial point here is that feeling. Therefore, Krishna mentioned here, ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya. So with devotion, worshipping Krishna. Mayi teteshu chapyaha. So Mayi teteshu chapyaha. So Krishna is a friend for that person, and that person becomes Krishna's friend. So that is natural. Yeah, that is natural. It is not partiality, but it is natural. Krishna is impartial, therefore he takes care of all living entities. And he gives exactly according to their quotas. Like how you divide food, between your toddler and your grown-up kids. So you give bigger food to the grown-up kids, then and a toddler, yeah, just you give a small amount of food. A less intelligent person will see that, oh, you are impartial because you're not giving the same amount. Well, it is partial because you give according to the quota. If you give so much to the toddler, it's just wasted because he cannot finish it. Yeah. If you give less to the grown-up kid, so he will need more. So Krishna gives according to our quota. Yeah. We get what we deserve. That's the principle. According to our karma. Karmana daivaneti. According to our karma and also Krishna's supervision. Yeah. So that's how he equals, and he pays special attention to his devotees naturally. So this natural feeling. Yeah. So this is the beauty of worshiping Krishna directly. Yeah. We get the special attention. Then text 30. Api chet suracharo bhajan rimam brida bhajan rimam mananiyabha sadur eva samantavya samyak vyavasitohi saha. So here Krishna is explaining about the accidental fall down. Yeah. And again, this is the beauty of directly worshiping Krishna. Yeah. Even if a person, even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Yeah, sadur eva samantavya. Yeah. Sadur eva, although he commits abominable activities, if with his determination he worship Krishna, so he still be considered as a sadhu. So this is an accidental fall down. Yeah. Prabhupada explained, as far as possible, a devotee is very cautious so that he does not do anything that could disrupt his wholesome condition. He knows that perfection in his activities depends on his progressive realization of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes, however, it may seem that a person in Krishna consciousness commits some acts which may be taken as most abominable socially or politically. But such a temporary fall down does not disqualify him. Therefore, a person who is situated in Krishna consciousness and is engaged with determination in the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, should be considered to be in a transcendental position, even if by chance or accident he is found to have fallen. On the other hand, one should not misunderstand that the devotee in transcendental devotional service can act in all kinds of abominable ways, which, this verse only refers to an accident due to strong power of material connection. Yeah. So bhajantimam ananya bhakti. The word ananya means pure, yeah, unalloyed. Yeah. But sometimes due to strong influence of Maya, person who is engaged in devotional service may also commit some mistake. Uh, let's say, for example, like breaking one of the four regulative principles. That's considered to be abominable. Yeah. But a devotee will always conscious, that yes, this path is guaranteed for his success, but somehow or other, due to the influence of Maya, he may commit sinful activities or breaking one of the four regulative principles. But we, as another devotee, if we see that happen in the life of uh, a devotee, we should not judge that person and disqualify him, as what Srila Prabhupada mentioned. Still, we have to respect that person and pray for that person. Yeah. Yes, he's a sadhu. He's a sadhu because he's still continuing his Krishna consciousness practice despite of his struggle going up and down in his life in terms of practicing Krishna consciousness. So in that way, he remains a sadhu. You know. But what Srila Prabhupada mentioned toward the end of his purport, he mentioned that, but we should not take it granted of this kind of verse saying that, okay, I'm practicing devotional service and uh, as Krishna mentioned here, I will be remain a sadhu even if I commit most abominable things and take advantage of it and commit sinful activities consciously. Yeah. Consciously committing sinful activities. This is not at all appreciated. Yeah. But what Krishna talks about here, if a person accidentally committing sinful activities. But I think I told you once that one devotee was asking Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what did you mean by accidental fall down? Did I tell you about this?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And then Srila Prabhupada said that accidental fall down means if you see this Brahmananda Swami walking in the street and smoke cigarette, still you have to pay obeisances, full dandavat in the street to Brahmananda Swami. That's what Srila Prabhupada said. Yeah. Because even if a person commit a most abominable thing, but if he still have the determination to perform his Krishna consciousness activities, that means he try to rectify himself. So still you have to offer obeisances to that person. He's a sadhu. Yeah, of course. if we in that position, so we should not claim that yes, it's okay. Krishna mentioned this in the Bhagavad Gita, and I can do whatever I want as long as I'm in Krishna consciousness. No, that is not the case. Yeah. Accidental fall down means you commit sinful activities, a person commits sinful activities, yet at the same time he regret because of that act. He regretted, and then he just carry on with his Krishna consciousness practice. Doesn't matter what. We see like in the early days of our movement, there's so many sannyasis, seems to be, falling down. There's one sannyas, there's one sannyas. So this story was narrated by Jai Gaur Sundar, one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples. So he was a sannyas, he was a great preacher, and somehow or other he just, gave up his sannyas and then got married. He got married, he got a child. But still, he's in Krishna consciousness. So one day, Srila Prabhupada came to the temple where he associated. I will not name the person. And then he was feeling like, I really want to see Srila Prabhupada. But at the same time, he was so afraid that Srila Prabhupada will chastise, will blast on him. But then Srila Prabhupada was asking about this devotee. Where is this devotee? And then the devotee told him that Srila Prabhupada wants to see you. And then this devotee, who was sannyas before, now he's a grihastha, he's a married man. And then he came to Prabhupada, meet Prabhupada in his room. And he just, for a basis, he's just crying. He couldn't check his tears, just crying. And Srila Prabhupada just give him a hug and just, touch his head like a small kid, like how a father deals with his son. And this devotee just crying. And Prabhupada said, it's all right, it's all right. It's all right. I thank you so much. You have performed such a wonderful service. It's all right. It's all right. Prabhupada just said it. And then, Prabhupada continued that, yes, if your mind get disturbed, yeah, better you become a grihastha and you be married and be satisfied in this grihastha ashram and continue your service and preach Krishna consciousness. But this devotee just keeps saying that I apologize. Prabhupada said, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah. As long as that person has determination to continue his Krishna consciousness, that's an accidental fall down. Because Maya is, Mama Maya Duratya, it's Krishna's energy. You can't fight with Maya actually. The only way is that you just take shelter of Krishna. If you try to fight Maya, thinking that I'm strong enough to fight Maya, you will definitely fail because it's Krishna's energy. Yeah. But take shelter of Krishna. Automatically you will be protected by Maya. And then text 31. Yeah, Shikram Bhavati Dharma. Here Krishna mentioned that very soon he will be situated in his position. Yeah, Shikram Bhavati Dharma. Sasvachantin Digachati. Kuntya Pratijanihi Name Bhakta Pranasati. He quickly becomes righteous and attain lasting peace. Yeah. O son of Kunti declared boldly that my devotee never perishes. Prabhupada explained the purifying process is already there in the heart of the devotee due to his remembering of the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare should be continued without stoppage. This will protect the devotee from all accidental fall down. He will thus remain perpetually free from all material contamination. So Krishna mentioned here, very soon, that person will reinstate it in his position of becoming a good devotee. Yeah. And Krishna mentioned here, Kuntiya Pratijanihi, O Arjun, please declare this boldly. Boldly declare this. Nabi Bhakta Pranasati, that my devotee shall never be perishes. First of all, one may argue that, well, sometimes the devotee got accident and died on the street. How is that? promise. Yeah. Well, we have to understand that the real protection is not the protection of the body itself. Of course, sometimes Krishna may give protection to the body or the body also. But the real meaning of the protection is that Krishna will protect the jiva. Will not keep away that jiva from him. That's the real meaning of protection. If we see in the life of Maharaj Parikshit, for example, Maharaj Parikshit, Vishnurata Tataya Agataya. So Shukadev Goswami explained that Maharaj Parikshit, known as Vishnurata, the one who always protected by Lord Vishnu, yeah. But how he got cursed by Shringi, will die by a snake bite, by Taksaka. Yeah. How Krishna was protecting Maharaj Parikshit in the womb of his mother. Yeah. From the attack of Ashwatthama's Brahmastra. We see here at that time Krishna protect Maharaj Parikshit. But now when he get cursed, he will die by the snake bite. Krishna seems to be, he doesn't do anything. Why does that happen? Yeah. The real meaning of protection is that he protects the jiva. First reason why Krishna protect Maharaj Parikshit in the womb, because he was the last child of the descendants of Maharaj Yudhishthira and the Pandavas. Yeah. Abhimanyu died. All the 5 children of the Pandavas was killed at night by Ashwatthama. So if Yudhishthira Maharaj will retire, who will be the next king? The throne will be empty. Therefore, Krishna protect Maharaj Parikshit in the womb in order to continue the lineage, in order to continue who will be the next king. Yeah, so Maharaj Parikshit is safe. So a person will rule over the world as a king, as the emperor. So now Maharaj Parikshit already got a child. Yeah, Janamejaya, he got the child. So it's all right. The next king is already there, the child of Maharaj Parikshit. Therefore, Krishna didn't protect him physically, but Krishna protect him from gliding down spiritually. Yeah, Maharaj Parikshit actually being a great devotee, he's a great yogi. He can counteract the effect of this curse. But what he did, he took it as granted, take it advantageously, saying that yes, I'm ready now. He just fast till death. So he was thirsty. Why he commits this offense? Because he was thirsty. He was hunting in the forest and being thirsty and not well received by Samika Muni. So he just took the dead body of snake and put on his neck. But on the same thirst, same hunger, he just continued fast till death, hearing the narration of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the real protection is that protection of the jiva. Yeah. And Krishna mentioned here, Arjuna declare. You declare Arjuna. Why? Because Krishna will always hold up to the words of his pure devotees. Because Krishna is known as a liar. Krishna told the gopis, don't worry. I just go to Mathura and I will kill Kamsa and I will return very soon. Yet he never come back. Krishna known as a liar. Krishna, you eat mud. Krishna said, no, I don't eat mud. But he ate mud. Krishna, you're stealing the butter. Krishna says, no, I don't steal. That's the proof, Krishna. Look at the butter all over your mouth. And Krishna says, oh, mother, you know what? I didn't do anything. But all these monkeys who came here, they ate the butter. And then when they feel that this butter is not tasty anymore, they just throw on my face. Now you are accusing me I'm stealing the butter. This is how Krishna is known as a big liar. Therefore, he mentioned to his devotee, you my devotee. And I always hold up to my devotee's word. Therefore, Arjuna, you declare. I will not declare it. Yeah. So that's the point of this verse. Yeah. Very soon, Krishna mentioned here, Sipram Bhavati Dharma. He will become, very quickly, becomes righteous. Yeah. Reinstated in his position of being a nice devotee, practicing Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada mentioned here, we don't have to undergo what they call as prayaschita. Yeah. Because as Maharaj Pariksit described, that prayaschita matu patam manye kunjaya so chavat. This process of prayaschita doesn't uproot the sinful tendency. Yeah, kwachin nivartate bharat kwachin charat tat naha prayaschita matu patam manye kunjaya so chavat. Just like the bathing of an elephant. An elephant will bathe now. Pariksit give this example. Kwachin nivartate bharat. An elephant bathes, and then as soon as he comes out from the lake or the river, he will take dust and pour all over his body. So the process of this prayaschita is just like that, because it doesn't uproot the sinful tendency. One may be purified, and then very soon he will commit sinful activities again. But the process of the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is purifying, that you don't have to undergo this prayaschita. Just continue chanting, that will purify you. Text Riju? Am hi pata vyapasritya ye pishu papayona yaha sriyo vaishasata sudas tipiyanti parang. This is another glory of directly worshipping Krishna. Doesn't matter in the social point of view, whatever your position, you can attain perfection. Yeah. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, and Shudra workers can attain the supreme destination. So Papa Yonayaha, Papa Yoni means born from the sinful family. Yeah, like Chandala. Yeah. So it doesn't matter whether a person is born in the lower caste, lower than Shudra is Chandala. Yeah, Malaysia Chandala, those who are meat eaters. Women, Vaishyas, and Shudras can attain supreme destination. What is the eligibility? Mam hi vyapasritya, worshipping Krishna. It is clearly declared here by the Supreme Lord that in devotional service there is no distinction between the lower and higher classes of men. Therefore, a devotional service and the guidance of a pure devotee are so strong that there is no discrimination between lower and higher classes of men. Anyone can take to it. The process of devotional service is so strong that the pure devotee of the Supreme Lord can enable people of all the lower classes to attain the highest perfection of life. This is possible only when one takes shelter of Krishna. See? Kibavi Prakibanya Sisudra Kinenai Jai Krishna Tattva Veda Say Guru. This is the qualification of becoming spiritual master. Kibavi Prakibanya Sisudra. Whether a person is a Vipra, Vipra means a learned Brahmana, Sudra Kininoi or a Sudra, as long as he knows Krishna Tattva. Jai Krishna Tattva Hoi Say Guru. Jai Krishna Tattva Veda Say Guru. As long as he knows Krishna Tattva, he can become a guru. So here also Krishna mentions similar thing. Yeah. Papa Yonaya Sriyo Vaisas Tata Sudras. The four things here. Lower than Sudra or born from sinful family, meat eaters, Chandala, Malaysians. Sriya, women, Vaisya and Sudra. Yeah. So according to the social point of view, these four types of people, they are considered to be situated in the lower platform compared to the Kshatriya class and the Brahman class. Yeah. Vyasadeva, he wrote the Mahabharata. Mahabharata, the main purpose why he wrote the Mahabharata is to benefit the Sudras and the women. I'm not trying to be discriminative or judgmental, but Srila Prabhupada mentioned many times that women is just like a child. You know? She always needs protection. When in her childhood, needs to be protected by parents. In her youth, need protected by a husband. In old age, need to be protected by grown-up kids. So Prabhupada mentioned also that women is less intelligent, but don't misunderstand with this statement. When Srila Prabhupada mentioned women is less intelligent, actually what Srila Prabhupada meant is actually women most of the times acting using putting more emotional than being rational. Yeah. Putting more emotion. Yeah. Therefore, he just they women just like a child. Yeah, because of this. But here Krishna is giving hope to everybody. Yeah. Uh, that Mamhi Patra Vyapasvita. As long as a person surrender to Krishna, take shelter at Krishna's lotus feet, so they can attain the highest perfection. Yeah, the highest perfection. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. Person may born Shudra, but it's all right. You know, it's all right. And most of person in Kali Yuga, yeah, Kalo Sudra Sambhava, most of us born Sudra. Yeah. Most of us born Sudra. Yeah. I'm wondering here. I want to ask you this question. Here Krishna mentioned even the Vaishya. The Vaishya is situated in the lower, let's say, lower platform in the social order. The Vaishya. Krishna mentioned here Vaishya. But in many places, Srila Prabhupada mentioned actually amongst this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, these three classes known as the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, they are the natural leaders in this society. Yeah. Shudra doesn't go to Gurukul. Yeah. Shudra doesn't go to Gurukul. Only Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, they go to Gurukul for training. Yeah. Shudra doesn't go to Gurukul. They don't need education because they just need to follow their master. Shudra will follow the order of their masters, being a servant. Yeah. Prabhupada said, Shudra and women, sorry, they don't need to go to school actually. Women traditionally they will be educated by their elderly family members at home. Yeah, women get education at home because women's quality should be chastity. Chastity is the prime quality that women should develop. Yeah, and for a man is brahmacharya. So for men, brahmacharya is a training, and for women, chastity is a training. And Srila Prabhupada said, if a woman sent to the public school, they will mingle freely with men, and that's how men easily exploit women in the modern days. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada mentioned this public school, university, is actually none other than a slaughterhouse. Have you heard this expression? That's Srila Prabhupada and Jesus said. Slaughterhouse, because when young boys and young girls mingle freely, that's it. Yeah, women get polluted, and then society becomes contaminated. So now I want to ask you this question: why here Krishna also categorized the Vaishya being lower in the lower platform in the society? Anybody would like to respond to that? Yes, I would agree.
Is that because they are under the influence of the combination of modes of passion and ignorance.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Brahmana, influenced by the mode of goodness, sattva guna. And then Kshatriya, Rajagun, Vaishya mix. Yeah. Rajagun and Tamu. And Sudra just Tamu. So what is the proof that they are influenced by the mode of ignorance? They have the tendency to cheat. They have the tendency to cheat. Oh, it costs $10, but because you are my friend, for you is $5. I bought this $5, so for you I don't take any profit, my friend. But actually, the real cost of the good is $2 or $3. But that's how Vaishya deals with you. Because you are my friend, I know you since long time, or because you are my regular customer, now I give you a big discount. So just take it as much as how I bought it. I don't need profit from you. I take from others. But actually, they already get so much profit. So they have the tendency to cheat. Okay. Yes, Prabhuji, you have a question. You raise your hand.
So Prabhuji, I just wanted to, I think the Brahmana and Kshatriya, they think on a bigger level in terms of society or Varnashram side of it, if we take into account that how the entire society should behave. And Vaishya and Shudra, they just follow those guidelines because the Kshatriya, otherwise Kshatriya people will just overpower the Vaishyas and Shudras. And to educate the Kshatriyas, Brahmana is supposed to look after the Vedic scriptures and they have to guide them. So they are on a higher platform as compared to remaining two. That's the reason why I think here it has been mentioned that those two categories are much higher than Vaishyas and Shudras. Whereas if you look at it, like Vaishya is more like he is trying to make a profit out of it, or the gains are not at a society level. He is still looking after his family and things like that. If you take in case of women also, she is trying to ensure that the her house is kept well and remaining things guided by remaining means men or this one. That's the reason why I think they have mentioned like that. But both of them are equal in their duties. I don't think there is a discrimination there.
Thank you. Yeah, very valid point. Yeah, very valid. Thank you so much. All right. Continue. So the point here is that devotional service, yeah, taking shelter of Krishna. So it doesn't matter from wherever we are, like Srila Prabhupada was asked by his disciple in the early days, Srila Prabhupada, how can we become a devotee? Did we perform any pious activities in our previous life? Srila Prabhupada said, no. You were born in America. Okay, what kind of pious activities you perform? You become a devotee because of me. That's it, Srila Prabhupada mentioned. So there are two types of perfection. One is sadhana siddhi and the other one is kripa siddhi. So Prabhupada just gave the mercy by which they can engage in devotional service. Just like Chanakya Pandit mentioned that one should be intelligent enough to pick a gold from a dirt. Just like a swan can drink. If you mix milk with water, a swan will just drink the milk. That's how expert a hamsa or swan. So doesn't matter from which country we are, because long time ago in Indonesia, in the country where I was born, there was this whole chaos, because there is this amongst the devotees, whole chaos, because they are discriminating between a Western guru and an Indian guru. It's like, like a big argument, No, we have to take initiation from the Indian guru, like this. But now, of course, the matter is settled down. Because, it doesn't matter. As long as you become a devotee, fully surrendered to Krishna, it's just a material covering. Prabhupada said this is a skin disease. You are American, you are Indian, Indonesian, Russian. This is skin disease. As long as you surrender to Krishna, that will qualify you to attain the highest destination, Param. So people of sinful birth also can attain in. And then what to speak of qualified people? Of course, qualified people will easily attain Krishna. How much more tax territory? How much more? This is so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees, and the king. Therefore, having come to this temporary, miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. So Krishna mentioned that if a person without qualification can attain Krishna, and what to speak of a person who have qualification, like the devotees, Brahmana, the saintly kings, the Raja Rishi. In this material world, there are classification of people, but after all, this world is not a happy place for anyone. The devotional service of the Supreme Lord is the only process by which all problems of all causes of man, classes of man can be solved. Everyone should therefore take Krishna consciousness and make his life perfect. Interesting. Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, this place is not a happy place. When I was in Cambodia, I my service is, of course, my main service is to do the Harinam Sankirtan. If you happen to go to Cambodia one day, I advise you to take some time for a vacation. Go to Cambodia. We have the biggest Vishnu temple in the world, Angkor Wat. So we have a center there, very near to the Angkor Wat temple, and in the town. So I used to distribute books in the evening around 4 o'clock, 4 to 6, and then go back for Sandhya Arati. Anyway, I went to the town. In the town, in that place, there is one street. It is called the Pub Street. All kinds of different nightclub, like bars where people just go for drink alcohol and have some disco and so on. So I was distributing books, and then one man came up to me and give me a leaflet. So it's mentioned there, happy hours, only $10 from 10 to from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. They call it happy hours. And then the guy explained to me he will take us to 5 different bars, 5 different nightclubs. You just need to pay $10 and you will be happy from 10 to 2. I said, my friend, is there real happiness in this world? I said, yeah, if you join us from 10 to 2, you will get happiness. I said, oh, really? What I'm going to do there? Oh, we will buy you whiskey, this thing and that thing. So they're thinking that, they will be happy. Actually, they just try to forget the stress during the day. Because when you get drunk, you forget everything. They try to forget their stress, but the next day, they will get more stress. They will vomit because of this alcohol, this and that. They feel dizzy, they get sick, They will sleep like an ignorant person till 12 o'clock. And then I end up into a conversation asking this man what is his daily schedule. So he said, well, this is my job. From now, 4 o'clock, he distributes the flyer. And then 10 to 2, he will drink. And then he will sleep after that till 1 o'clock next day. 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And after that, he will take bath, eat something, and then watch TV, and then 4 o'clock he will come out again. So this is his life. Anyway, they call it happy hour. Because there is no real happiness. This place is Vikalaya Masas. Krishna already give a stamp, give a sign that this place is Vikalaya Masas. What is your hope to be happy here? No. Yeah. And then the last verse of the chapter. This is the devotional service. How to perform devotional service. Man mana bhava mad bhakta madhyajiman namaskuru. Mam evaishyasi kauntaya atmanamat. Mam evaishyasi yuktaivam atmanamat paraya. Yeah, this verse is repeated again in chapter 18 where Krishna mentioned Mam evaishyasi kauntaya, because you are my friend. Prati jane priyos. So because you are my friend, which is very dear to me, you will come to me. But here Krishna mentioned, Mam evaishyasya taivam atmanamat mat paraya. Engage your mind always thinking of me. Man mana, become my devotee, man bhakta. Offer obeisances to me. Namaskuru. And worship Madhyaji. Worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. In this verse, it is clearly indicated that Krishna consciousness is the only means of being delivered from the clutches of this contaminated material world. There are some who are demonic. They also think of Krishna, but enviously, just like King Kamsa, Krishna's uncle. He was also thinking of Krishna always, but he thought of Krishna as his enemy. He was always in anxiety, wondering when Krishna would come to kill him. That kind of thinking will not help us. One should be thinking of Krishna in devotion, in devotional love. This is bhakti. Pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down because the Supreme Godhead personally takes care of his pure devotees. Therefore, intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. He will eventually receive the Supreme Award of Krishna. So this is the guarantee of our success. Yeah. Engage in devotional service favorably. Yeah, favorably. Anukulyena Krishna Anusilanam Bhakti. That is bhakti. Bhakti means to think about Krishna favorably. Yeah, Prabhupada give the example like Kamsa. Of course, Krishna will always appreciate with whatever motivation we approach Krishna. Yeah. Tasmat vairanu bandena nirvairina bhayena va snehat kamena va yunjan katanchina iksate puja. Tasmat vaira anubandena. Even if a person becomes attached to Krishna, anubandana means attached to Krishna. Tasmat vaira means with the anemical mood, with the anemical mood, like the demons, all these demons which are killed by Krishna, they have enmity toward Krishna. But they get liberation because Katanche na iksate prita. Krishna doesn't see your fault. Krishna doesn't want to see your fault. The main thing, you come to me, I give you liberation. Yeah? Nirvairena, and what to speak of Nirvaira, without enmity, like the Pandavas. Higher, Nirvairena Bhayenava, with fear, like Kamsa, always in anxiety, fear, become Krishna conscious, although in the unfavorable way. Nirvairana Bhayanava Sneha. Sneha means attachment, like the Pandavas. Sneha Kamena, like the gopis. They have lasting desire to Krishna. Kamena Vayuja. All of them get liberation. Yeah. So Krishna will see how you approach him. Krishna will see the main thing is that you approach him. Doesn't matter how you approach him. Because you are approaching Krishna. Because he doesn't want to see your fault. Why Lord Balaji here? If we see the picture behind Navadip Sachimata, is Lord Balaji's picture. So why Lord Balaji's eyes are covered with big tilak? I heard one explanation from His Grace Amarendra Prabhu. I love his lecture. I highly recommend all of us here to hear from him. He's like a young devotee my age, but he's very knowledgeable. Yeah, in Shastra. Amarendra Prabhu. So he mentioned that Lord Balaji covered his eyes with tilak because, one time I went to Tirupati in 2014, and the devotee told me, whatever you ask from Balaji, he will fulfill your desires. Whatever you ask, you just give little thing, and then he will reciprocate like 10 times. Therefore, we see that the richest temple in the world is the Tirupati temple, Balaji temple. People take like hours and hours standing in queue just to take darshan for 2 seconds. I remember I was stubborn. I thought like this. I stand in the line so long. I have to take darshan of Lord till my fullest satisfaction. But it didn't happen because the pujari just dragged me out. You go out like this, just 3 seconds to go out. Not even offer a obeisances. You offer obeisances from outside. Just drag me out. And on the way to the village, I saw in the room, the wall was glass. That room was full of money, and my friend told me his money is not yet counted. That much money Lord Balaji has. Because people, comes with material desire and give some money and asking Lord Balaji for, a reciprocation 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, and then get fulfilled. See, Lord Balaji's hand is one like this and one like this. One he receives and one he gives. He doesn't want to see your fault, therefore he covers his eyes with tila. Main thing you approach him, he will fulfill your desires. Krishna also like that. Yeah. Main thing you approach him, he will give you liberation. Yeah. Katanche na iksate. Na iksate. Doesn't see your fault. Yeah. Because when you approach Krishna, you will get purification for sure. Yeah. And what to speak of performing devotional service, thinking always about him favorably, become his devotee, offer obeisances. Yeah. Srila Rupa Goswami explained in his Bhakti Rasa Pratisindha, one of the 64 angas of bhakti is offering obeisances. And Prabhupada commands that simply by offering obeisances, one is liberated. One is liberated. Just offering obeisances, one is liberated. It doesn't matter when you will get that liberation, but as long as you dedicate your life once to Krishna, Krishna will accept that and he will not let you go. I heard one lecture also from His Grace Gauranga Prabhu, the disciple of His Holiness Kadanath Maharaj. He mentioned that joining Krishna consciousness movement is just like joining mafia, joining a mafia group. Once you enter, you cannot go out. Whether you stay or you die. Because if you try to go out, they will kill you because you know so much. Now you join this Krishna consciousness movement. This is the story of His Holiness Kadamba Swami. He joined the movement, and at one point he felt like I had enough. He tired of this Krishna consciousness. He tried to go. He tried to go away from the devotees, and somehow or other he just met. He went to the street. He met the devotees performing Sankirtan, and then he went to the shop, and then he met the devotee. He handled the books, and he went home, and then somehow or other somebody brought him prasadam. So he said that, oh, Krishna doesn't want me to go. So once you join, and even if you want to commit sinful activities or breaking one of the four principles because you know so much already. You feel hesitate to do this. You feel hesitate to do this. How could you do this? You know so much. So like joining a mafia group, either you stay or you die because they will hunt for you if you try to escape. Okay, so that's the glories of directly worshiping Krishna. Yeah? So the point here is that root the tree directly. Yeah? You don't water the root of a tree directly. You don't have to water separately the leaves, the branch, the flowers, the fruit, and the twigs. Just water the root. Worship Krishna directly. You don't have to worship any other personality such as demigods. Prabhupada in a lecture mentioned, who is crazy? Many times after I do the Harinam here in Mayapur, so because we were singing so loud, we danced like crazy man, I was asking my friend, like why we are doing this every single day? Why we are doing this? And then my friend just told me, because we are crazy. If you sober, you will not do this. You don't get paid because of this. You don't get paid because of this. Why you do this? Because we are crazy. Why we do this every day? Because we are crazy. Yeah. One devotee from Italy. One devotee from Italy told me that why he joined Krishna consciousness. Because his friend was joining Krishna consciousness. And then his friend was joining Krishna consciousness. And because his friend very close with him, so he demanded him to also join Krishna consciousness. So finally, they both joined Krishna consciousness. And the first time he went to the temple, like, everybody was chanting, wake up early in the morning, take a cold bath, it's like really crazy. And then he said that why I joined this Krishna consciousness? Because I was crazy. Unless you're crazy enough, being a human being, you will not join the Krishna consciousness movement. Yeah. I mean, those who born in a devotee family, it's natural to accept Krishna consciousness. But those who join late, like after you perform all kind of nonsense in your life, and you are crazy. You are crazy. Problem is, who's crazy decide? You are thinking the Swamiji and the party, they are crazy. And we are thinking, those who are how to decide it. Can you suggest any way how to decide it? How? Who is crazy? Who will decide it? Everyone, two parties. When there is something in disagreement, the two parties will say that you are in wrong. The other party will say you are. Now, who will decide it? And that who is wrong? Can you suggest any of you? Who will decide? The world is going on in partyism, and each opposite party is thinking that the other party is crazy. So everyone who identifies with this body is a crazy man. Is a crazy man. It is a challenge to the world. Anyone who claims God's property, land, God's earth, as own property is crazy. So who is crazy? He who identifies himself with the body is crazy. Because when you say that you are something, but actually you are not, that means crazy. Just like a drunkard. Drunkard will say that, oh, I am this, I'm that, but actually he is not, because he was drunk, so he's crazy. There's an incident in the mental hospital. The mental hospital. So a person just entered the mental hospital. A crazy person just entered, and then he immediately claimed to everybody that he's the president of the country. And then he said that he's the president of the country, of course, because he's not the president. So he's a crazy person. And then somebody asked him, so who told you that you are the president of the country? And then he said, God told me that I'm a president of a country. And then the next person who sit next to him, near him, said that, oh, I never said that. That means that person thinking that he is God, and this person thinking that he's the president because God told him. So when you say something, claiming yourself to be something which is not your real identity, that is your crazy. So when a person identifies himself with body, he's crazy. That is obedience. All right, just to conclude this chapter, chapter 9, in the beginning we see how Krishna informed us the qualification and then disqualification in hearing about him, because hearing is the basic, the foundation, how we can advance in Krishna consciousness. And Krishna explained about his tattva. And non-devotees, worshippers, non-worshippers. He touched the aspect of demigod worship and personalism, and ultimately he glorified the direct worship to him. Yeah. And chapter 9 and chapter 7 has a lot of similarities. And from chapter 7, 8, and 9, toward the end of the chapter, Krishna always glorified devotional service. He put devotional service in the top rank amongst all other parts. All right. So up to this point, before we enter the 10th chapter, whether any question? Yes, Rajanath.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Right.
Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yes.
Prabhu, this particular last verse, Manmana Bhagavad Bhakto, I had heard some devotee commenting that somewhere this is the verse which says that we need to pray or worship the Madhurya Bhava of Radha and Krishna and not the Aishwarya Bhava. I was unfortunate, could not pick anything from the purport, so I just wanted you to throw some light on this, Prabhuji.
I see. Well, I personally don't get the Shastrik Praman for that statement, but of course, later indeed, toward the end of the chapter 11, yeah, where we will see actually Srila Prabhupada commenting after Krishna shows the Virat Rupa, and Arjuna asked him now to assume his four-handed form, his original form, two-handed form, the Shyamasundar form. So the Madhurya form is the Shyamasundar form, and the Aishwarya form is the Narayan form, which is full of awe and reverence. But of course, Srila Prabhupada advised us in this purport in the 11th chapter for the end that this is the highest form of meditation. Yeah, the Shyamasundar form. Yeah, the Shyamasundar form. Because that's the topmost form of Krishna, and that's the sweetest form of Krishna. Because you can joke with him, you can ride on his shoulders. Yeah, no offense. But if you do that with the four-handed Narayan, he will slice you into pieces. But again, of course, that is in our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And you cannot say this statement to the Sri Sampradaya people. They may get offended. Yeah. So for us, that is our pramana. Yeah. Prabhupada, our recent acharya, saying that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching also like that. We meditate on the Brajanandan Krishna. So we can go back to Goloka Vrindavan. Yeah. If you meditate on Dwarakadish Krishna, you will go to Dwaraka. If you meditate on Narayan form, you will go to Vaikuntha. Yeah. So for us, yes, our ultimate meditation is the Shyama Sundar form, the Madhurya form of the Lord, yeah, the sweetest form of the Lord, the Brajanandan Krishna, Yasodanandan Krishna. And there is nothing wrong to meditate on the Narayan form. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So don't say this to the Sri Sampradaya people. They may get offended. Yeah, because although we are same Vaishnavas, we are the worshipper of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, but if we analyze thoroughly, our Siddhanta is slightly different. Yeah, our Siddhanta means the conclusion is slightly different, but no offense, because they are also devotees of the Lord. No offense. Yeah. Just like Hanuman cannot change his mood to worship Lord Ram. So we have to respect that particular mood of worship, that particular rasa. And that's still all right, because they're situated in the Sakya Bhav, Sakya Ras. Not Sakya, I mean to say Dasya Ras. Yeah. In the mood of awe and reverence, see God as king. Yeah. But we want to see God as our friend, our sweet children, and our lover. Yeah. So that's my comment. It's all right to meditate in any form, as the Prabhupada said, in any form. But ultimately, as the follower of the Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, so our ultimate meditation is Krishna, Shyama Sundar, two-handed form.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Any others? Otherwise, we can jump up to the 10th chapter. Yeah. So now, 10th chapter entitled of Vibhuti Yoga, or the opulence of the Lord. What is the importance of studying this chapter? Of course, we have to understand our position that we are not the Ragatmika Bhakta. Ragatmika Bhakta, as explained by Rupa Goswami, meaning that the devotee who has developed love for Krishna since the very day of their life. So that raga or attachment to Krishna is their atma, it's their life and soul. So the Ragatmika Bhakta is the devotees in Vrindavan. Even if they don't know Krishna's opulence, still they have this attachment to Krishna, this love for Krishna. But we, the devotees outside Vrindavan, we need to know Krishna's opulence in order to develop love for him. Just like Rukmini, how she gets attachment to Krishna? By hearing from Narad Muni about Krishna's opulence, Krishna's qualities. So she developed love for Krishna. Because Rukmini is not a devotee from Vrindavan. Devotee from Vrindavan, from the very birth of their life, they already have attachment to Krishna. Yeah. But outside Vrindavan, you need to know Krishna's quality, Krishna's opulence, in order to develop love for him. Just like before marriage, you have to know the quality, the good quality of your future partner. Yeah. Then that will convince you that yes, this is the right person with whom I will get married. So it's merely like this. But again, we have to understand here, when Krishna was asked by Arjuna to exhibit his vibhuti, his opulence, it is not actually for his sake, but it is for our sake. For our sake. We need to know this quality, this vibhuti, this opulence of the What's going on? Okay. Yes, finally. Chapter 10, the opulence of the Absolute. Krishna has already described devotional service, especially at the end of chapter 9. To generate devotion in his devotee, Krishna claims his opulence. So in chapter 7 of discussion from some technical issues here.
I think there's some network issue on your side.
Yeah. I don't know why. Okay. Yes, I'm back, I think. Yeah. From 1 to 7, Krishna is the origin of everything. And then from 8 to 11 is the Chaturshloki Gita. So 1 to 7, Krishna explains his opulence more specifically and thereby reveals himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of all. 1 to 3, Krishna is the mysterious origin of everything, and one who knows Krishna is free from sin. 4 to 7, Krishna is the origin of all qualities and personalities. Accepting his powers leads to surrender unto him. So here is Krishna's opulence here, mentioning that he is the source of all qualities and personalities. Text number 1, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Bhuya eva mahabaho srinume paramam vachaha. Again, Krishna mentions here, srinume paramam vachaha. Listen to me. I will reveal to you now the knowledge that never before I said. Paramam means the ultimate. Yate ham priyamanaya vakshyami hitakamyaya. So here, priyamanaya is very significant. Krishna mentioned that I tell you this because you are dear to me, Priyamana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, listen again, Srinumi, O mighty Arjun, because you are my dear friend, for your benefit, Hitakamyaya, your benefit. I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. See, devotional service is the ultimate goal of our discussion, the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. And the last verse of the 9th chapter is explaining about devotional service, how to perform devotional service. But now Krishna mentioned here, Paramam Vachaha. I will tell you something better than whatever I already spoken before. So what is better than devotional service? Why this opulence of Krishna is better than devotional service? Because by knowing this opulence, we will develop our attitude to love him more, to love Krishna more. that will enthuse us to love Krishna more. The more one hears about the Supreme God, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. One should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotees that will enhance one's devotional service. Discourses in the society of devotees can take place only among those who are really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. This discussion will be highlighted in text number 9. Text Machita Margatapa. How the discourses about Krishna, the Krishna Katha, is actually the prana, the life and soul of the devotee. So when Srila Prabhupada mentioned, the more we hear about Krishna, our love will develop for Krishna. So therefore, even after Krishna explained to Arjuna that ultimately devotional service is the goal, now Krishna doesn't want to stop there. Because in order to develop our love more for Krishna, we need to hear again about Krishna. Yeah? Hear more about Krishna. Hear about his popularity. So these two words here, very important. Yeah, Priyamanaya, very dear to me, and Hitakamyaya, for your benefit. Krishna, the unknowable, revealed himself to Arjuna because of these two things. Yeah. Krishna is the Adok Saja. Yeah, he is mysterious. His tattva is mysterious, but his tattva can be known by his devotees only because he reveals it. Let's see, there is a question here from Murari Madhava. This particular sloka, is it not said to Brahma, our first acharya, our parampara, which was one earlier person to receive Bhagavad Gita before Arjuna? Is that? This particular sloka, is it not said to Brahma, our first acharya of our parampara? Did you mean by, is this verse is also mentioned by Krishna to Brahma, like that? He was one the earlier person to receive Bhagavad Gita before Arjuna. Is this verse is mentioned by Krishna, like how he mentioned to Arjuna, to other personalities also like Vivaswan and Brahma? Is that the question, Prabhu? Can you clarify?
Yes, yes, Prabhu, yes. Because here it's specifically like to Arjuna he is mentioning because he's friend, and the others like Vivaswan is not friend, and Brahma is son, and like I mean, so in that sense, I asked.
Oh, okay. So this word Priyamanaya, Priyamanaya, is that same thing Krishna says to Vivaswan and Brahma? Okay, got your point. Here is the crucial point here, that when we see that evidence, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adika, the first verse of Bhagavatam. So Brahma is the first person to receive the transcendental message directly from Krishna to his heart. And when Krishna says that Imam Vivasvate Yogam, first Krishna imparted this knowledge a long time ago to Vivaswan. It is not necessarily exactly the same word is mentioned by Krishna, but the essence of knowledge is the same. Yeah. The essence of knowledge is bhakti. Yeah. Bhakti is mentioned to Brahma, to Vivaswan, and other personalities. Not exactly the same storyline, I would say. the same conversation. Yeah. Well, Krishna may also mention Priyamanaya, means very dear, because why Krishna revealed himself unless that person is very dear to Krishna. Like how we reveal our wealth to our family member because they are very dear to us. So I don't want to speculate on this, but the essence of the conversation is the same, but not necessarily having the same storyline or how it converses between the two, between Krishna and Arjuna or Krishna to Brahma, because Krishna gives only the 4 Chatusloki Bhagavatam to Brahma. Yeah. Evasam eva heva green and yad shadasar and yad pashad aham yad etacha suvasishyesa susmyaham. So only 4 verses, and then it is described this 4 verses is actually the root of the whole Bhagavatam. And if we see also the Bhagavatam, which is spoken by, let's say, Shiva to Parvati, and then by, who is that, to Chatukumara, to from Lord Ananta, yeah, Ananta says to Chatukumara, and then from Vyas to Sukadev, or from Narad to Vyas, and then Sukadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit, and then Sutta Goswami to the rishis of Naimisharanya. They have different conversation, right? Like Shiva to Parvati gives Bhagavatam. Yeah, before this Bhagavatam that we had spoken by Sukadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. So actually, Sukadev Goswami was the parent of Srimati Radharani. So anyway, that's a long story. But the point here is that not necessarily the same conversation happened, but the essence should be the same. So that's the point. How he deals with Arjun, how Krishna deals to Arjun, and how he deals with Vivaswan may be differently, because Arjun is in the position of a friend. Yeah? But with Vivaswan, being the servant, probably he deals differently. But the essence of knowledge is the same. That's like we see here, our Bhagavatam is 18,000 verses. There is an explanation that on the higher planetary system, they have bigger Bhagavatam. Yeah. But the essence is the same. Maybe the story which is contained in our Bhagavatam compared to the demigods Bhagavatam may be different. Like how Shiva narrate the Bhagavatam to Parvati, in the Bhagavatam that we have now, there is narration of Lord Shiva. Is he also narrating his own story to his wife? Probably not. Yeah. But the essence of knowledge is the same. Pure devotion. Text number 2. Name vidusragana prabhavam na maharshaya aham adhidevanam maharshinam chasarus. So here Krishna is explaining he is the source of all personalities. Neither the host of the demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Aham adir hidevanam. So in one sense also, when Krishna mentioned Aham adir hidevanam, he establishes his superiority. Yeah, this is the Brahmana. Yeah, that actually he is not equal with all the other demigods, including Shiva and Brahma. Yeah, because many people get confused about Krishna's position and putting him on the same level with the demigods, and also, yeah, with the demigods. Yeah, seeing Krishna on this on the equal level with the demigods. But when Krishna mentioned here, Aham Adir Hidevanam, is the source of all the demigods. So he actually establishes his superiority, and this is the Brahman. This is the evidence. Even demigods and great sages cannot understand Krishna. They can understand neither his name nor his personality. So what is the position of the so-called scholars of this tiny planet? No one can understand why this supreme God comes to earth as an ordinary human being and executes such wonderful, uncommon activities. One should know then that scholarship is not the qualification necessary to understand Krishna. Because most men cannot understand Krishna in his actual position or situation. Out of his causeless mercy, he descends to show favor to such speculators. Yet, despite the Supreme Lord's uncommon activities, these speculators, due to contamination in the material energy, still think that the impersonal Brahman is the supreme. You see? Krishna descends here just actually to bless us. Krishna descends here to establish the point that God is a person. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned out of ignorance. Even after seeing God personally, still people will think that God is impersonal. And the qualification to understand God is only bhakti. And scholarship, yeah, material scholarship, doesn't matter whether you are a PhD or a professor or whatever. If you don't have bhakti to Krishna, you cannot understand Krishna. Yeah? You cannot understand Krishna. Did I tell you the story of His Holiness Bhakti Tita Swami meeting with a professor in university?
No problem.
Yeah. So Bhakti Tita Swami Maharaj is one of the greatest preacher in our movement because he already went home back to Godhead. His Prabhupada disciple, African American body. So he loves to preach in colleges. And in fact, actually, he was one of the biggest book distributor in our movement. So because he was so eager to preach in colleges, universities. So one day he went to a university and then he met with a professor of that university. So he was talking about spiritual subject matter, and then Maharaj handed this professor a Bhagavad Gita. And then this professor touched the Bhagavad Gita, and then Maharaj said, yes, this is Bhagavad Gita, this is actually the ABC of our study in spiritual life. So, and then Srimad Bhagavatam is a postgraduate of our study. And then as soon as he heard, this professor heard that Maharaj mentioned about Bhagavatam, and this professor said, oh, Bhagavatam, yes, I know Bhagavatam. Even I read this Sad Sandarbha by Jiva Goswami. And Maharaj was like, wow, this is the right person, that I met today. If I can convince this professor to take up devotional service, the whole university will become devotees, because that's the principle. If the leader of this university become a devotee, then the whole university, all the students will follow his footsteps. So because he talks about Satsandarbha, like Jiva Goswami, and he know the story life of the Sat Goswamis, and Maharaj was so happy. He think that it's easy to convince this person just to chant Hare Krishna and become the devotee. So as they are conversing, so this professor put his hand inside his pocket and took a cigarette and put into his mouth and start lighting up and smoke cigarette. And Maharaj was like, his expectation turned 180 degrees. So like, oh my God, I was wrong about this person. So Maharaj said that is the fact that actually scholarship is not the qualification to understand Krishna. If he really understands Krishna, he will not smoke cigarette. So his knowledge is like parrot knowledge. He can say so many things about the life of the Goswamis, but he is not following the principle of the life of the Goswami. So what is the point? Scholarship is not the qualification of understanding Krishna Tattva. Interesting. He was shocked. He said that I was shocked when this professor took cigarette and smoked cigarette. So yeah, that was exactly what Srila Prabhupada meant here. Scholarship is not the qualification necessary to understand Krishna. So here Krishna is mentioning that all personalities coming from him, including all the demigods and Maharshinam, all the great saints. Text number 3. Yo mama jamanadim cha veti loka maheshwaram asamudha samartyeshu sarva papai pramichyate. Krishna mentioned here, Anadim is without Adi, means is without beginning. He is the beginning of all. Yeah? He who knows me as the unborn, the Aja, Ajam means unborn, yeah? As the beginningless, yeah? Anadim, as the Supreme Lord of all the world. He only undiluted among men is freed from all sins. So a person who knows Krishna Tattva immediately relieved from all kind of sinful reactions. Prabhupada said, Sri Krishna is therefore different from everything that is created. Anyone who knows him as such immediately becomes liberated from all sinful reactions. One must be liberated from all sinful activities to be in the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Only by devotional service can he be known and not by any other means, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. There are two principles here mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. First, to be free from sinful reaction. That is one qualification to understand Krishna. Yesam tu antagatam papam. Antagatam papam means the sinful reaction is terminating. Anta means end. That is one thing. And second aspect of Srila Prabhupada mentioned only through bhakti, mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktya tu ananya sakya aham evam vidorjuna gyatum grasum chatat vena pravisupcha parantata. Krishna mentioned that both parties, your party and Duryodhana's party, now standing before me, only you can understand me because you are my devotee. Duryodhana doesn't understand me because he's not a devotee. Bhaktya tu ananyaya sakya. So Krishna Tattva can be understood only by bhakti. So Ajam, this word Ajam means unborn. If Krishna is known as the son of Devaki, then how can he unborn be unborn? We see how Krishna appeared. He's not appear like ordinary human being. He appeared in the four-handed form of Narayan. So he is just appeared. He just mystically appeared, not born like how ordinary human being born. When he appeared before Devaki and Vasudeva, he was not born as an ordinary child. He appeared in his original form, and then he transformed himself into an ordinary child. So out of the prayers of Devaki and Vasudeva, so Lord Narayan assumed the form of baby Krishna. This is the Vatsalya Bhava of Mother Devaki when she prayed that, oh, my Lord, if Kamsa see you in this form, he will convince that you are meant to kill him, that you are Lord Narayan who descend meant to kill him. So I don't want him to attack you. Better you assume the form of a normal human being, normal human child. So this will disguise you from your original identity. So Mother Devaki was in anxiety that Kamsa will attack his son, his Narayan. So it is described that that is the mood of a devotee in Vatsalya Rasa. Although he knows that his son is God, still he has this affection that Kamsa she doesn't want Kamsa to attack his child, like what Kamsa did with another 6 children, smash him on the walls, smash them on the walls. So please assume, so you will be disguised in this form as ordinary human child. Of course, we think that, oh, that's so stupid, that's so silly, but because we are not experiencing that power, we are not on that level. But so, so that's how Krishna appeared in the form of Narayan. So this Krishna consciousness process, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, will help you to understand. It will cleanse your dirty things from the mind, and therefore, then you shall be able to catch up anything, to understand anything to do. One requires to be a little qualified, you see, unless such qualification. So this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You chant always 24 hours without any payment. So it will cleanse your heart so that you will be able to analyze your position, God's position, the world's position, your relationship, your activities. Then everything will be nicely clear and illuminated. So yeah, to understand Krishna, we need purification. Chetodarpana marjanam. Yeah, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra will cleanse the dust accumulated for billions of lifetimes in the mirror of our heart. Chetodarpana marjanam, to clean. So therefore, the realization comes to the degree of our purification. Srila Prabhupada said, no stoppage, 24 hours, keep chanting. Yeah. Again, this reminds me to the life of Bhakti Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj. Every day he would go out to preach, and then sometimes when he has appointment with some important person, so sometimes he has to wait, and he never wastes his time. This is one of the 9 symptoms of a person in bhava, avyartha kala tvat. Yeah, he never wastes time. So what Maharaj did, he has a small book where he wrote all the important slokas of the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Charitamrita, and he will memorize the slokas while awaiting for that person who gives him the appointment. And then every night before sleeping, he will always write something in gratitude or glorifying Srila Prabhupada. You can find even up to now, he has his diary books like this much, like so many books there, because he wrote every single day before he sleep something to glorify Prabhupada, or just to say thanks to Prabhupada, that Prabhupada allows him to perform such and such service. So he has his diary book like so much. And then when he sleep, he always play the audio recording of Srila Prabhupada chanting japa. It can be our practice also, So in that way, he remained connected to Krishna through Prabhupada, One time in a class when Srila Prabhupada explained the verse Anta Kale Chamam Eva, unless you remember Krishna at the time of death, you cannot attain Krishna, because whatever you remember, Yam Yam Abhismaran Bhavan, whatever you remember, that state of life you will get. And then there was one Mataji, Srila Prabhupada's disciple, raised her hand and asked question. Prabhupada, you are explaining so nicely that if we remember Krishna at the time of death, definitely we go back to Godhead. And then she said that what if we don't remember Krishna at the time of death, instead we remember you, Prabhupada. Prabhupada closed his eyes for 2 seconds as if he was thinking. This Mataji asked, will that have the same effect, Prabhupada? Can we go back to God? Prabhupada closed his eyes for 2 seconds and opened his eyes, and he said that yes, it has the same effect. that's also okay. If you remember me, that's also okay. So the point here is that remembering Krishna or remembering his pure devotees are non-different, because his pure devotees can never separate it from Krishna. Because if you remember Prabhupada, Prabhupada is in Goloka Vrindavan, you will go there to Prabhupada in Goloka Vrindavan. Yeah, so it has the same effect. So that's how Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was like, okay, he always tried to connect himself to Prabhupada. Therefore, he was like so much enthusiastic to distribute Srila Prabhupada's book. Prabhupada said that 24 hours, 24 hours. Here we find 24 hours. And then in one point also, one devotee was asking Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, what if we fail to remember Krishna at the time of death? How is our destination? And Srila Prabhupada said, that's actually the principle. If you don't remember Krishna at the time of death, you will not go back home, back to Godhead. And Prabhupada said, but if you distribute my books throughout your life, carry on my words, I guarantee your success. Prabhupada said, throughout your life, you try to serve me. Even if you forget Krishna while you're dying, Prabhupada said that I have the back door key of Vaikuntha. I'll take you from backside. Yeah. Oh, Prabhupada, so much. All right. So Krishna explained in the earlier verses that he is the source of all the personalities, and now Krishna is explaining that he is the source of all the qualities. Yeah, the qualities, including bad qualities. Krishna is the source of everything. Yeah, he is the source of all personalities. Now, from this text 4 to 5, Krishna is explaining about the source of all qualities. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. Like infamy also coming from him, death also coming from him, fear also coming from him. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. So all qualities comes from Krishna, whether it is good or bad, because he's complete. He's God. He's Purnam. Yeah. All these qualities are manifest throughout the universe, in human society, and in society of the demigods. There are many forms of humanity on the other planets, and these qualities are there. Now, for one who wants to advance in Krishna consciousness, Krishna creates all these people, but the person develops them himself from within. One who engages in the devotional service of the Lord develops all good qualities as arranged by the Supreme Lord. Sarvair Gunais Tatra Samasisura. Person who engages in devotional service automatically develops good qualities. Of whatever we find, good or bad, the origin is Krishna. Yeah. Like fear. Fear is a negative feeling, yeah, negative quality. But fear also coming from Krishna. But if we see fear from a different angle, from Krishna conscious angle, that fear will help us to advance in Krishna consciousness. For example, if we fear that we offend other devotees, fear that we will forget Krishna, this is positive fear. That's how we utilize fear in order to advance in Krishna consciousness. And then death is also terrifying. But if we see death as a gate open to Vaikuntha, that's how we advance. Yeah. Because if we keep hoping that, yes, I will have another day to live, That's how we entrap in Maya. When Yudhishthira Maharaj was asked by Yaksha, what is the most wonderful things in life? What is his response? How is that? It was very, very famous when he mentioned that Sesha Savaram Ichami Kim Ascharyam Atakar. Kim Ascharyam. What is more wonderful than this? Sesha Savaram Ichami. Those who remain alive here in the world, they think that they will live forever. But thousands and thousands of souls are being sent to the abode of Yamaraj every day, every second. Despite of seeing this, the person who still have material body will think that he will live forever. What can, in other words, he said that I will not die. Other may die, I will not die. Grandfather die, great grandfather die, mother die, father die, but I will not die. Kim Ascharyam, Ascharyam means wonderful, amazing. What can be amazing, more amazing than this? So death, if we see death as Krishna, Mrityu Sarva Halascha Aham, Krishna says, I'm death for the non-believer. So if we see death as Krishna, so we'll be happily welcoming death, like Maharaj Parishit. Everybody is afraid of death. But the devotee, we welcome death as a gate open to Goloka Vrindavan. I'm not saying that you can commit suicide now. That's ignorant. That's sinful. But death will come anyway. And then when it comes by his own accord, so we just need to accept. Because that is Krishna approach. So we see that as Krishna. Anyway, I have unstable connection. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explained on each of these qualities. On each of these qualities. So I advise you to read because the purport is long. And I just jump to text number 6 and 7 to end up this class today. We have like, how long we have now? Like 7 minutes. So you please read the purport, text 4 and 5. Just have a glance on that explanation by Srila Prabhupada. He's commenting on each of these qualities, which is very, very interesting. I don't know, I cannot share my screen because connection is so bad here. I just read it. Text number 6, the 7 great sages, and before them, the 4 other great sages and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from me. So Krishna again mentioning about the personalities here, including Brahma, Maras, the Rudras, the 14 Manus, all comes from Krishna. And Prabhupada explained, Brahma is known as Pitamaha, the grandfather, and Krishna is known as Pra-Pitamaha, the father of the grandfather. That is stated in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 11.39. So we see here Krishna is the source of all great personalities, all the personalities. Text number 7, one who is factually convinced of this opulent and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. Prabhupada explained, the highest summit of spiritual perfection is knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless one is firmly convinced of the different opulences of the Supreme Lord, he cannot engage in devotional service. You see, generally people know that God is great, but they do not know in details how God is great. And here are the details. These are some of the opulences of the Supreme Lord. When one is firmly convinced of them, he accepts Krishna with great faith and without any doubt, and he engages in devotional service. All this particular knowledge is required in order to increase one's interest in the loving devotional service of the Lord. One should not neglect to understand fully how great Krishna is, for by knowing the greatness of Krishna, one will be able to be fixed in sincere devotional service. So that was Prabhupada's word. By knowing this opulence of the Lord, his vibhuti, so naturally we develop attachment, we develop appreciation for Krishna, and that appreciation enhances our bhakti. Because how can we remember Krishna if we simply know that Krishna is God, but if we don't know how is he God, how he is great, then we cannot fully meditate upon him. When we meditate upon Krishna, what we meditate? His qualities, his form, his beauties, his activities, his opulence. That's how we meditate on Krishna. It's not that we simply meditate, yes, he's God, Krishna is God, Krishna is God. You know, when I was a kid, my picture of God is that somebody with like an old person with white hair, long beard, with a white long beard, with a white dress, sitting on the cloud in the sky. That was my picture on how God is, just sitting on the cloud. Yeah, but yes, Krishna, being God, is beautiful. He has beautiful eyes. He plays on the flute. He fought demons. This is how we meditate on Krishna. So by seeing this opulence, we can develop our attachment to Krishna, because that's how we meditate. Okay, so up to this point, text number 7, we'll stop here for now. Krishna already explained his opulence in terms of he's the source of all personalities and all qualities. So thank you very much. We'll see you again on Wednesday. We'll continue with our discussion on the Chatu Shloki Gita. Yeah, the core, the heart of the Gita. Yeah, it's situated right in the middle of the book, chapter 9 and 10. Right there, we'll see the Chatu Shloki Gita, and Krishna will be requested by Arjun to display more his opulence, and Krishna will mention his opulence. And at the end, Krishna says that Ekam Sinasito Jagat. Whatever I have mentioned, it's just a glimpse of my energy. You know, Krishna mentions so many things, and Krishna says there are a lot more, but I cannot tell you all this stuff because it's already too much. You know? And even though this is too much, it's just a glimpse of my energy. That's how he is powerful. Yeah. All right, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.